Okay. Hello. So we're trying to find a rhythm to these lives on Facebook, and anyway, today is day 3 of my day 2. Is it day 2? Day 2 of my 100-day challenge, workout challenge. So, like I mentioned in my last couple of lives, which was 2, I joined the challenge, 100 days of workouts. And as far as I can remember, I have never consistently worked out for 100 days at a stretch. So it's a challenge for me in that regard. Of course, I work out regularly, 5 times a week, oftentimes. Sometimes I work out every day, but usually 5 times a week, which is fine. But I just felt, okay, let's see if I can do every day for the next 100 days. So it's a challenge for me. I'm challenging myself. And so today is day 2, and I did my workout this morning. And that's what I want to talk about when it comes to improving your health or prioritizing your health in 2023 and beyond, not just 2023, but going forward. You need to include exercise into your routine, into your habits, into your schedule, because exercise is important. I mean, there are so many benefits of exercise outside of weight loss. Of course, if you want to burn fat or lose weight, you can exercise. It is recommended, but that some people, they just watch what they eat and they lose weight. But beyond weight loss, there's so many benefits of exercise, and that is what I want to talk about today. Incorporate exercise into your routine. Now, so you're wondering what kind of exercise you should do. Honestly, I don't prescribe, but I just say do what you love to do, but get moving. Of course, you have to move for you to exercise. So there are so many options out there. But generally, there are 3 buckets, the way I consider exercises, like 3 types of exercises. That's for me, that's my own bucket of definition. And the first one is cardio training, anything that raises, your heart. So that's running, cycling, jogging, that one that would, build your endurance. So if you don't have cardio in your exercise, include some form of cardio. So for my cardio, I do cycle, and then I do exercises that are high intensity, that kind of fast exercises. I have exercise videos that I follow along with, so that sorts my cardio out. The second category of exercises are strength trainings exercises. That's resistance exercises. You are pushing against something, you are lifting something, you are pulling something. You're lifting either your body weight or weights. Now, I'm going to say this about strength training, especially for women. Women generally, and women over 40. Because once you turn 40 as a woman is, what happens is that you start to lose muscle. And there are so many, downsides to that, apart from the fact that that also slows down your metabolism. So that's why around the age of 40, women tend to realize that it's more difficult to lose the weight compared to when they were younger, because your metabolism has slowed down, because muscles is the one that burn a lot of fat and energy. And so if you're losing muscle, your metabolism slows down, then you realize that what you could eat and get away with in time past, now you eat and it seems to be piling up on the weight. So for women generally, and for everybody, include strength training. Some form of weights, lift weights, go to the gym, register in any nearby gym, and find out what kind of weight training you can do. Some offer classes. So I attend a gym it's called, the particular gym I attend, they have a class called Fit Pump. And in Fit Pump, we lift weights for different parts of the body. So we have the back, we have the legs, we have the biceps, that's the arms, we do the abs, so basically like different parts of the body, shoulders, yeah. But that's not the only ones available. You could also do the training at home, get some weights, or you could just lift your body weight. So squats, lunges. I also do that. I do some body weight, just body weight training, but find something that will build muscle. Particularly important for people that are older because you are losing your muscles. So you want to make sure your muscles are not diminishing. It has important health benefits for you. So prioritize strength training at least twice a week amongst your exercise schedule. So that's the second type of exercises I also, like buckets, I put it into. So the first one is cardio training. The second one is strength exercise. Now the third type of exercise is what I call the stretching, stretching or flexibility exercises. And so that's your yoga exercises, all form of mobility or flexibility exercises, the stretches. So also I believe it's very important to also stretch. Sometimes people go for workouts, they don't even warm up well, and particularly at the end of the workout, especially maybe if you go for a gym or a class and you seem to be in a hurry and you just leave once the class is over without stretching properly, that can actually increase your likelihood of developing injury. Because the truth of the matter is that your joints and your ligaments, they require you to stretch them, such that when you now do the main exercises, they are more flexible and more pliable, and so they're not likely to be injured. But beyond that, it's also good to stretch your ligaments. You feel more light on your feet. You can see you can do a lot of things. So include flexibility training or stretches or yoga into your type of exercises that you do. And so those are the three types of exercises, or the three buckets of exercises that you should consider doing. Now, there's so many workouts out there that fit into these three buckets. Some can actually incorporate the three of them together. There are some yoga trainings that have an element of cardio, where you kind of stretch or do those poses, like they are fast-paced. So maybe you are pulsing and then you kind of raise your heart rate, you increase your heart rate. And then some require you to squat and to lunge, and that's resistance training. And then of course stretching, the ligaments and the joints and the muscles and all that. So there's some form of exercises that incorporate the three categories I've mentioned, but generally, oftentimes you might have to do like one or two types of exercises to be able to combine these three categories. But don't let that stop you from doing what you need to do. If you're like, oh, when I'm going to have time to do cardio, to do strength training, and then to do flexibility, don't let that be a challenge. Start with whichever one you want to do. Start with one, and then you can gradually build up on it. So choose one form of exercise. You can do brisk walking, you can do golfing, swimming. Just make sure you are moving. There's so many exercises you can do, and there is really no excuse. The exercises that you can do seated, so they're chair exercises. Just go, Google is your friend. You go there and you see so many exercises you can do. Even if you feel, oh, I'm always at my desk at work, I don't have time to go anywhere. There are exercises you can do while you're seated. You can get a stability ball, sit down on it while you're in the office instead of your chair. And what happens is that because it's a stability ball, it's going to be training you, training your balance, and you're going to have to use your core muscles to sit straight, so to keep the balance, and that's from form of exercise. So really, there's no excuse. Whatever your situation is, there's always one form of exercise that you can be doing. So just research. Just ask Google. Just type your situation and say exercises for people that are seated, exercises for people that are always standing. There's always something to do. But you need to prioritize exercise, because exercise is going to, improve your health and beyond. Exercise has so many benefits, and that's the topic for another life. I'm going to discuss on some of the benefits of exercise that you probably know, the ones and probably some that you have not heard about. And so that's today. That's what I'm talking about. I'm just wrapping up today's life. And before I go, something happened to me this morning. I just felt I should share. As believers, as Christians, I was reading my children. I encourage them to memorize scripture every day on a regular basis. So we kind of have a system where we pick a scripture, just a verse of the Bible, usually one verse, sometimes two, but most of the time just one. And then we kind of practice it over and over and over again for about a week until they kind of master the scripture, and then we move to the next one. I have an app that I used to do that, and then the ones that we have learned in the past, it will also bring it up and remind us of all that they've learned. So the scripture that they are learning right now is, I'm just going to read it out. 1 Timothy 4:12. It says, don't let anyone look down on you because you are young. That means don't let anybody despise your youth. But he said, but set an example for the believers in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, and in purity. Another version says, be an example of the believer, in all that, in your speech, in your conduct, in love, in faith, and in purity. And I narrated to them that something happened today while I went to the gym. I got there late and the class was not going to hold. And anyway, some things happened, and instead of me to just say, oh, just take it in stride and just move on, I was now asking questions and querying, and I said some things that really shouldn't have said. It wasn't necessary. And as a believer, I'm like, I could have handled this better. I could have been kinder. I didn't have to complain about the situation. And so I was narrating that to them to give them an example of how, as believers, we need to be mindful of, we need to set an example in everything we do, in our speech, in our conduct, in love. And that led us to 1 Corinthians 13, verses 4-7, that talks about love is kind, love is patient. And love is so much, in those verses. So I want to encourage you today that even as you set out on your journey to improve your health in 2023, remember you're a believer. Be an example of a believer in everything that you do, including your workout sessions. So if you have any questions about exercises, feel free to drop a comment, here, and I would look at it. And if you have any ideas of exercises that has worked for you and you'd like to share, also feel free and drop it in the comments so that we can all learn from one another. Till I catch you in my next live. Bye.